Hi Colin, this is a video to address the two problems that you sent me today. The first one, I think they're called concept checks or something like that in your manual, but this is 2213. This is the first of the two you sent me. The calculation to switch an improper fraction to a mixed number is really short and simple, but before I teach you the mechanics of it, I want you to understand why we do it the way that we do it. And the secret to understanding fractions, as always, is pizzas. And so this is my box, my pizza box, and here is my pizza inside. All right? Now, the denominator always tells us, I'm going to write it again here. This always tells us how big the slices are cut. In this pizza, this type of pizza that we're talking about in this problem, all of our pizzas are cut in half. Okay? So that tells us that it takes 2 slices to fill up a box, right? It tells us not only how many pieces each pizza is cut into, but how many slices of those that particular size will fill the box. So we're cutting the pieces in half, and it takes 2 of them to fill up the box. So the question is, how many boxes are we going to need if we have 95 half slices of pizza, right? And so we can see that the way that we do this is we say, okay, we've got 95 slices all together, 2 go into a box. So if we divide 95 by 2, that will tell us how many boxes we're gonna have in the end. So 2 into 9, let's see, 4 times 2 is 8. That's the closest we're gonna get. We subtract. 2 into 15, that's 7, gives us 14. And that's with a remainder of 1. So what that tells us is that if we have 95 slices of pizza that have each been cut into half, it's gonna fill 47 boxes, and then we'll have 1 half left over to go into that 48th box. So that's what these numbers represent, and that's how we can conceptualize what we're doing, right? Is by imagining these as pizzas. Now, if we wanna just cut to the chase, we remember, I'm going back to the original problem now, 95 over 2. This line always says divided by. We normally read a fraction like this. We say like 95 over 2, or we say 95 halves. But we can also say this, 95 divided by 2. And as an additional little trivia note, it's not really trivia, it's another way to remember it. This is the division sign, right? Look at what it is. It's a division bar with something above it and something below it. It's a complete symbolic representation of a fraction. So the division sign itself reminds us that division is represented by fractions, okay? So that leads us into this calculation that we just did when we were talking about the pizzas. We can always resolve an improper fraction by dividing. 95 divided by 2, and we already figured out it's 47 with a remainder of 1. All right? So when you want to change it into a mixed number, you'd say 47. This remainder becomes the numerator, and this is where we get the denominator. So the final answer to this one should be 47 and 1/2. Let me know if that's the right answer. So you know that we can use this pizza box metaphor, and that's what we're doing. This tells us our slices are cut into halves. Every 2 slices will fill up a box, and if we do the division, we find out that we're gonna need 47 boxes. Well, we're actually gonna need 48, aren't we? Because we have that 1 piece left over. 47 will be full, and then that last box will have 1 left over. And that's exactly what we got here. And then we can write this last number as a fraction rather than as a remainder to get our answer. And now let's just do the other problem. I'll skip the pizza box metaphor except to say this time our pieces are cut into 16ths. Okay, that's a lot smaller. I'd rather have the half slices. I don't know about you. But this time our pizza box or a pizza rather, is cut into 16ths. So every pizza is cut into 16 slices, and it takes 16 slices to fill up a box. So in order to find out how many boxes we need, 61 divided by 16. And remember, that's the same shortcut rule we used in the other problem. You remember that line says divided by, that's my speech bubble coming out of the line. 16 into 61, let's see, I don't know my 16 timetable, so let's just make a little list. 1 times 16 is 16, and I'm gonna double it. That would be 2 times 16. 3 would be 48. 4, 16, I'm just adding 16 every time, in case you're wondering what the heck I'm doing. 16 more would be 64. That's too big. So this is the biggest product of 16 that will fit into 61, and that's 3 times. So I'm gonna put the 3 right there. I want it to line up like so. Now I'm gonna actually multiply. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. I subtract. I get 13. 16 doesn't go into 13. So for the purposes of a mixed number, if I wanted to do a decimal number, I could put the decimal in and keep bringing down zeros, but we don't want to do that. We want to show this number as a mixed number. So this will be my remainder. So my mixed number is 3, the number of times it went in evenly, and then the fraction is what's left over the number out here. So that's my final answer. All right, so if you just remember that this line says divided by, and then set up your division problem, that's how you convert it. Let me know if this helps. I'll talk to you soon.